how's it going, everybody? I'm Civil Warrior, and welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be doing a champion review for the brand new character, Guardian. Now, this character is actually so OP. You guys don't know unless you've played him, to actually realize how OP this character is. And speaking of if you've played him or not, Kabam was actually nice enough to give everybody who has updated the game a free 3-star Guardian, which I have maxed here, actually. So, Guardian is, as you guys saw in the update video, is a member of a team called Alpha Flight. And just today we're going to be looking at his abilities, moves, and all of that, and everything about the character in this game. So, and a little bit of the comics, of course. But, yeah, so Guardian is, of course, as I explained in the update video, that he is a member of the Alpha Flight. He's the leader of Alpha Flight, perhaps, exactly. And yeah, so I think we'll just go ahead and get right into this, and I'll show you guys how OP he is. And I'm actually, at the end of this video, there'll be a one-shot of a character, because of specifically one of the act bosses that I'll have a one-shot in at the end of this video, as well as just taking him into quests and showing the different moves. So we'll have that. So there'll be a little bit of extra battles in this video. But yeah, I also actually have him duped, so we have his signature ability, and actually, I got that from one of the special missions. You can also get him from duping him from the calendar. Again, but that is not till next week, I think. But I duped him using the special missions as well. But it was just nice to Kabam to actually give somebody a free new character of the character for the new update, which I thought was really, really cool. And something they haven't done for that in a long time, considering they're adding kind of random characters again. But you know, we'll get Lizard eventually. Come on, guys. But yeah. So we do have his signature ability called Weapon Alpha. It is currently level 8. Could try to get it more to level up, but I immediately maxed this character out after seeing how good he was. So even though he's a 3-star. But plus 556 to block proficiency, and while Guardian has an armor up effect, he gains the following of these: block proficiency, 800.37 energy resistance, 32.2 bleed resistance, and 70.79 critical damage resistance. So he's got some resistances due to his suit, his exoskeleton's armored suit, to be able to have resistances to all of those. His passive abilities are Guardian can't land critical hits naturally, but however, every time he would have landed a critical hit, he deals a burst of shock damage. This ability scales with critical damage rating, so the shock damage is like very little. It's just like, it's similar to, who is it similar to? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's just a little extra burst of damage. It's okay. That's what I was thinking of. This character reminds me a lot of Nova. Mainly in terms of game-wise. His moves are quite similar to Special 1. The first hit of the Special 1 looks quite similar, as well as the third blast from a Special 2, as well as these little bursts of damage remind me a lot of Nova. But Guardian can trigger the parry mastery against non-contact attacks due to his force field. And while Guardian's ability accuracy is below 100% for 3 seconds, he inflicts a shock debuff, dealing 68.7 energy damage per second until restored. This ability scales while base attacks only not be affected by ability accuracy. Max stack is 1. So that's the way you trigger the shock debuff, other than the force field charges, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But those shock debuffs is where the burst damage comes into play. So armor up buff, start each fight with an indefinite armor up buff, increasing armor rating by 1850. And the armor up buffs actually are quite helpful, because even though he's a 3-star and even though he's maxed out, it's actually quite easy to not lose damage with this character. He also has an auto block, which we'll get into a little bit. While Guardian has an armor up buff, well-timed blocks against special attacks grant 100%. This one I'm talking about. Perfect block chance over 0.5 seconds. Each perfect block grants 10% bar of power. And yeah. So he does have a little bit bar of power, and he also has a power drain effect on some times of the last hit of just a series of light attacks. And force field charges last indefinitely, up to 3 charges. Any additional force field charges last for 22 seconds. So you can get these as much as possible, since it lasts indefinitely. No, not as much as possible. I said that wrong. You can. They don't really go away except for the one that turns around. That timer, and gain one force field charge every 12 seconds. So it does take a little while, but you can get them up by. You can get them up pretty fast by using a special one before special two. And while Guardian has an armor up, gain plus 15% chance per force field to charge an auto block. This was what talking about opponent's special attack. So it has to be a special attack for him to use the auto block. But I wouldn't necessarily rely on the auto block because you could accidentally mess it up and look at it wrong, so that you would get hit instead. So I wouldn't recommend just relying on auto block as most characters you shouldn't. But can reach a 70% chance to max and is considered a well-timed block. Consume one force field charges to block unblockable special attacks against mutants. So Mr. Sinister is another champion that you can block unblockable special attacks, but Mr. Sinister can actually do it to any unblockable attacks. This character has specifically against mutants. Has to be can block an unblockable special attack. And on fourth line attack, consume 2 force field charges, inflicting a power drain. This is the power drain I'm talking about on the fourth line attack. Power drain, removing 20% of the current power. It's not that big a percentage, but it can help if they're at like special 3, and if you have 2 force field charges ready, you can get them from preventing them from using that special 3. And heavy attacks, the first hit consumes 1 force field charge, and to gain an armor up buff, increase armor rating by 1850 for 15 seconds. Special attack 1, his special attacks, as you've seen in the first look video, are so dope. Still remind me a lot of Nova. But after activation, gain 3 force field charges. And the last hit inflicts a taunt debuff, lasting for 6 seconds. Opponents that are taunted have their attack rating reduced by 40% and have a 70% higher chance to activate a special attack, which is, of course, baiting out special attacks is so BS because it's hard to do it on certain characters. Like, there's been times where I've been mashed up against a wall, and then he just won't throw his special, and I can't hit him because then he'll get to his special 3. But then this will help that because that taunt debuff will allow them to throw that special and help you from getting out of that corner, as said corner, and getting back in the battle. Special attack 2, the first hit consumes all force field charges, increasing attack rating 572.5 for each force field charge for the duration of special attack. So it has to consume all of them if you're going to use a special attack too, but it's definitely worth it. So if Guardian has 3 or more force field charges, consume 1 armor up buff, inflicting a shock debuff, dealing 1,145 energy damage over 3 seconds. Now, even though it's 3 seconds, that damage is mad good, especially for the each blast of the special 3. Because special 3 does the special 2, not special 3. Special 2 does damage because does pretty good damage even without the shock debuff. But that shock debuff just amplifies it so much to the point where it's really OP in God tier. So yeah, and this attack cannot be evaded by mutant champions though, so you can't use dexterity if the opponent can't use dexterity, or if you're playing as a mutant champion fighting Guardian in the event quest, for example, you can't use dexterity, which kind of sucks. So make sure you don't use a mutant champion for that battle. And special attack 3, on activation, gains 6 indefinite force field charges, so you get a lot of those. Inflict a shock debuff, dealing 687 energy damage for 20 seconds. It does a lot less damage, but for more seconds. So it's kind of switched around between the special 2 and the special 3, where the special 2 does more shock damage per second, but then it's only 3 seconds, and then the special 3 does 6 less damage per second, but for longer. So yeah, his moves are just so OP, and we will get to that after we figure out everything else. So yeah, I was supposed to go over the special attacks when I get over here, but it's okay. We'll just do that real quick. Supersonic charge, Guardian. I don't really need to read this because I just did. But like I'll go over here in future ones because I don't know. I just like to read the names of it and kind of describe them. But yeah, we'll skip that for now since we already read them. Attributes, hero rating is 2,227 because of I have him maxed, and he of course the hero rating can go up more if you use signature stones and stuff, but just by a little bit. But also keep in mind that whenever I read these attributes, these are of course to my specific Guardian and my specific character. So make sure you don't think unless yours is like exactly the same. Don't think that like those are exactly how it should be. Challenge rating is 70, rank 440, level 40. Um, Health is 5,942 and 458. And champion tags, offensive, raw damage, that makes sense. Hero, size M, and metal, and alpha flight. So yeah, they have their affiliation tags, of course, as all champions do. Attributes, critical rating is 553, critical damage rating is 650. 000 for armor penetration, block penetration, and critical resistance. Armor rating is 38, and block proficiency is 3,289. And also, percentages displayed are based on facing a 4-star rank 5 champion. Challenge rating is 100. So those attributes will change depending on who you're fighting. Now let's go over the synergy bonuses. He actually has a lot less synergies than most characters. Because, I mean, by a lot less, I mean, like, don't do as much. But it's mostly just armor up and block proficiency for these synergies. But he does have a synergy with himself, as Dr. Doom does, for example. True Northern Defense, all champions except Guardian, plus 500 block proficiency, and does not stack with duplicate synergies. So he's a really good champion to have on your team in terms of damage, as well in terms of utility and armor, so that he can all your characters can have a better block proficiency, so it doesn't take as much damage when you block. And on guard for 3, you can have Wolverine, Sabretooth, Squirrel Girl, and Classic Pool. On guard for the first 3 blocks have 100% chance to be perfect blocks. And friends, Wolverine, Storm, of course the X-Men, because they work with the X-Men and the Avengers sometimes. Mostly the X-Men, since they know Wolverine, because their whole thing is they were trying to get Wolverine back into Canada when he left. So Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Storm and Wolverine. And then teammates for Red Hulk and Spider-Man. And you get 4% perfect block chance for each person there. And yeah, let's go over the bio, and then we shall go ahead and get started with the battles. So in his earlier days, James Hudson worked for Amcam, which is in Canada. And I'm not sure if that is made up specifically to Marvel, or it probably is. And as a petrochemical engineer, when he discovered the company's deep-seated corruption, which was it was because it's they were trying to use it for American military. Hudson left immediately, stealing his latest invention, a super suit primed to search for underground oil deposits. So honestly, if they didn't dip and just use it for being a superhero, he would be rich as fuck, because literally finding oil and drilling for oil, it can get you mad money. So he would be rich as hell, and he's smart as hell, so I probably was already rich. But fleeing the consequences of his actions, Hudson became Guardian, the founding member of Canada's elite team of superhumans known as the Alpha Flight. Includes Sasquatch and others that I'm not really too sure of at this point. I have to look into them, because I didn't really know Alpha Flight before the update. I knew of these 2, but I didn't really know of any others. And Defenders of the True North. So, yeah, so Guardian, of course, he's got this little Canadian flag on his suit, which is pretty cool, actually. I like how it's just, I like it's on the side, not like on the back or in the middle or anything. But, yeah, we'll go ahead and get into the battles, because I'm excited to show you guys how OP this character is. I already have a Providing Grounds quest started, and speaking of how OP he is, we are literally just going to use him and no one else, because, like, I know we can do it with him. It's quite easy. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and unplug this charger here real quick, just so it doesn't get in the way. Yeah, let's get started. So we got a vision here, and let's go ahead and get going. Also, the uncollected event quest I'll do sometime, maybe next week, so hopefully we'll get that done. Alright, so there's just basic attacks. Can't do the power drain yet because he doesn't have a persistent charge. I mean, a force field charge. I like how he blocks with Canadian Leaf. But yeah, see, there's a little bit of burst damage in his hits. In each of his little hits. Let's do a special one. See, it reminds me a lot of Nova. I shouldn't have posted him to a special thing. Oh, I pulled Big Dumb there. That's my bad. It didn't do fuck, but, like, still, that's my bad. And I have plenty of potions anyways. Let's get to a special 2, show this mad damage. I just like how he blocks with the Canadian Leaf. I think that's interesting. There's the power drain. And see, if he had more life, that would have just destroyed him completely. But his special 2 is really bad. His outro is pretty cool. His personality reminds me so much of Booster Gold, and it kind of makes me mad because his personality is like basically similar. He's kind of like, you know, cocky and being like kind of like funny and smart aleck, but like that just kind of makes me a little mad because Booster Gold is, you know, superior, but like still. All right, let's beat this Ant-Man. I'll do a special 2 again just to show you with more life how OP he is, and then we'll do a special 3 in the next battle. There's a heavy attack that you didn't get to see yet. But yeah, see, he's got little bursts of shock damage, of just a little bit of damage in each of his hits, which is also pretty interesting. And Nova has that too in some instances, so it's pretty cool. Should have done a special 1 first, so we'll do a special 3. So my advice for this character, if you want that mad burst damage, I would always do a special 1 first, because that kind of shoots you up with those force field charges, and it is very helpful. Let's do it. Special 3, of course, you've seen all of these in the first look video, but they're just so rad. It's just amazing. It's pretty cool. I don't really know what that black is. That's supposed to be tar, or I don't know, but like it's pretty cool. But yeah, see, there's that 20-second shock debuff. Probably shouldn't have done that. See, like, that's another thing. Don't rely on their power drain, on his slight power drain just to get him from the special 3, which I messed up on doing that, but like, still, don't do that. But like, his moves are just so rad. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep going, and we'll keep going in this quest. I would have put his synergies on the team, which I'll do if I've done their champion review before. I'll put their synergies if they have synergies with this character. But in this case, I don't have any that I've done champion reviews for, so therefore we do not. So we won't do that. I'm actually going to heal him real quick. I probably don't need to use that golden maple syrup. Yeah, I don't really want to waste it, so we can probably do it with it. If he gets any lower, then we probably will have to. But in this case, we won't now. Honestly, I don't know why, but you know what? Never mind. That's just a dumb idea. Dumb question. All right, let's beat the Cyclops. Got hit by the. I always get hit by that last second. See, and that special 1 just shot us up to 4 force field charges, which is helpful. See, I always get hit by that last one. I don't know why. See, there's just a little bit of damage in there. It's just that shock damage is just mad if I would be able to show it. But even if I don't show it now, you'll see it at the end with that 1 shot. So we'll do that. Alright. Come on, War Machine. Alright, so yeah, well, that's basically all it said. This armor up buff. Basically all of it. It's just, he's just so OP. Yeah, I messed up there. See, that armor is kind of helping though, because like it would take a lot more if it... Shock damage time. See, it's just ridiculously good. Sorry for not talking too much. It's just, you know, I don't really need to focus on these battles, but like I don't really know what else to say. Besides, he is OP, so like I don't want to just spam you guys with saying that, but you know. I'll try to get, that's something I should really do, is apologize, because this is a champion review, and I have not done a champion review in so long. The next one was supposed to be Ant-Man, but as I said, I go out of order if I get the character during the update, so it's kind of different, but like, yeah, see, there's another shock buff that he can apply, which is one that doesn't go away, but yeah, and there's the auto block, which also helps. So yeah, I basically showed everything, but like, sorry for not doing champion reviews in a while, so I'll try to get back on those. There we go. Moves are very rad. Alright, let's keep it going. Alright, a couple more. I think there's like 3 more. Yeah, 3 more. And plus the other one. So yeah, if we can beat an entire quest with a 3-star, I mean these are pretty easy, but like still. I managed to beat a 6-star with this Guardian, so like that's saying something. See, that's doing mad damage already. I think it's just against mutants he does very well. So see, yeah, it doesn't do as much damage without the shock debuff, but with that shock debuff, it's just ridiculous. Alright, 2 more Black Bolt and a Gambit. We'll pause this real quick. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I just didn't want to get interrupted here. Like, it's just basic attacks are also really good, so like, there's not really anything bad about him. Or anything I could really complain about. Come on, man. You gonna throw your specials too or not? There we go. Here's some mad shock damage. See, just destroyed him. Alrighty. Let's get this Gambit. Alright, last boss of this quest. Let's not suffer here. I think we're good. We'll do a champion review for Gambit eventually, since he's one of my favorite X-Men's characters. See, just that first blast of the special one just reminds me a lot of Nova. That taunt debuff helps a lot. See, look at that mad damage. It just destroyed him. Like, if you, the difference between light attack damage and normal damage of doing that against that Gambit, and then the amount of damage from that special 2 is just god tier. It's amazing. All right, so let's see what we got here. Just some basic stuff. So yeah, overall, Guardian is just a really fun and just OP character to play as. So I'm very happy that Kabam gave us a yet another good character, but also just that he gave him to they gave it to basically everybody. So it's really good. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and conclude the video. I'll let you guys go ahead and see that one shot at the end of this. But yeah, other than that, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Subscriber goal, we're just going to try to get to 100, and then hopefully move on and grow the channel from there. And hit that bell notification to get informed on new content, and I will see you guys in the next video.